Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. Today I have something new to show you, or new, it's old stuff. It's something Atari, so let's check it out. It's been a while since I did some Atari stuff, so I thought it was about time, and this is something I recently bought quite cheaply. 300 NOK, that's 30 euros. Let's take a look what it is. Yeah, voila, maybe you can see it already. Yeah, it's the good old Atari 2600. Yeah, it supposedly does not work. Is it working, or didn't the seller know if it's working or not? Unable to test it. Is it faulty? Then we have to see if we can repair it. Yeah, I unboxed the rest of the stuff, and yeah, this is the little bit more modern variant of the Atari 2600 games console. It came with two original joysticks, two power supplies, one seemingly unopened. It's just a tennis switch, I think. Since it came with a new power supply, I suspected that the seller tried a new power supply and it didn't work. Yeah, we'll see about that. But the console looks in great shape. A little bit scratches. And the backside, manufactured for Atari Corporation. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. If you need to have produced your own PCBs, then just visit PCBWay and you can get an instant quote for your own PCBs produced for as low as $5 for 5 PCBs. They also do other stuff like advanced PCB. They do CNC machining and 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and prototype PCB assembly, among other things. Also visit their shared project site, where you can find a lot of already made PCB designs. So go ahead and visit PCBWay.com and check out their services. Yeah, it's called the Atari 2600 Junior, or the Rainbow Edition. And this one came in 1986, I think. And of course it uses cartridges. I have quite a collection of cartridges, and this is one of those, Miss Pac-Man. So why it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, there can be many simple reasons for that. It could be dirty contacts or something else. We'll take a look in a minute. This one only has RF, or antenna output, which gives it a very bad video signal on modern TVs. No composite video, and one of the modifications you can do to this is to convert it to composite video output instead of RF. So I might take a look at that also if we get it to work. Let me just check the power supply. Apparently none of these are the original. This is one of those switchable where you can select the output voltage. It's set to 9 volts. First of all, let's check if the power supply works and have the right polarity. In fact, it has a switchable plug too, so you can reverse the polarity. So I guess the inner part is negative. Yes, so it's almost 9 volts. Should be good enough. So let's see what's actually is the ground here, and yeah, we can just have the meter in diode mode or continuity mode and just check. Yeah, this is the outer ring of the power input and the outer part of the RF output. Yeah, those are connected, so that's ground, and that means this inner part here is ground. So let's try it out then. Hook up the TV. Antenna cable. This does not produce any video if you don't have a cartridge inside it, so we need that too. The LED is lighting up, so it is powered. Let me tune in my TV. Using an old CRT TV is perhaps the better choice for these kind of old consoles with RF output. Many or most modern TVs nowadays, they don't even have a TV modulator and cannot be hooked up, but luckily this one has. Go to analog. Well, it found one analog channel, so that probably means it produces an output signal at least. Well, look at that. Seems to be working. And the sound too. So, that's kind of a little bit boring, but there's obviously something wrong with the picture. So you see part of the picture, which is the top, comes at the bottom. Let's try to turn it on again. Okay, let's try another cartridge. Missile command. Well, picture is pretty crappy, but it is working. You can turn it to black and white or color. There's a switch. Okay then, I don't know why he said it wasn't working. I mean, a working Atari 2600 like this would go for much more than I paid, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you can see that the picture is not stable at all, but that might be due to my TV. There's also some fine tuning here that I can do. But yeah, seems like the search found the best signal. I'm gonna hook up a joystick, see if we actually can play. What? I plugged in a joystick and now suddenly the picture is a lot better. Maybe it was just because moving it. I'm not at all good at this, obviously. It could be just an adjustment issue with the RF modulator. So I think that's the first thing I'm gonna check out. How about pole position? Yeah, it's the same there. Some issues with the video signal. You see the bottom. But no, the actual video signal is much better than in the beginning. I thought it was because I plugged in the joystick, but it wasn't. I took it out and it still is good. This is perfectly acceptable, I think. Yeah, it's quite a good game for this Atari 2600, I think. Used to play this a lot back in the day on the Commodore 64. And it had a 2-player mode. I don't know if this has it. Come on, more speed, more speed. No, that was the brakes. Seems like the black and white feature only works on some of the games. Actually, I have another one of these, exact same. Let's compare. Try this one instead. Yeah, it's in fact the same issue there. Miss Pac-Man on this one then. Yeah, this is even worse. So I think this is just some RF signal issue and my TV is not tuning it properly in. Alright then, so the console works, kind of unexpected. I'm gonna open it up, do some cleaning of it. The switches are very dirty. It doesn't seem like the select works. And see if we can tune anything on the RF modulator, and yeah, then see if we can install that composite video modification to it. Yeah, the black and white switch only works on this game, not the other two. Alright, let's open it up. I'm also gonna take a look at these joysticks. They're kind of dirty, and take a look inside. Clean the contacts. Apparently these are not the originals. They're quite noisy. And of course this one too is very dirty. It needs a good scrubbing. By the sound of the screws, it sounds like this has never been opened before. Yeah, there's a little trick to get the cover off. It has some clips, but seems this one came right off, and there's under here there's a ribbon cable for the buttons, or for those two, and this one seemed a little bit bad, so I think I'm gonna remove that. Oh boy, let's take a look inside. I see dirt and dust, so this might have seen some use then. And this yellow stuff, what's that? Is that corrosion? No, I don't think so. Well, the whole metallic case here seems a little bit corroded. Small rust stains all over it. Yeah, to remove the buttons, I think you just push them down. Yeah. Try not to break them. And now this can be just removed by pushing it out, I think. Only seems to go one way. Yeah, there it goes. So that's just two contacts in a simple flat flex cable. Yeah, there isn't really much you can do with this. The contacts is inside between the layers. Now the motherboard, to get it out of the case, there's no screws, there's just two tabs, plastic tabs. Gently try and bend it over, not to break it. Easier said than done. I don't want to break them, and I don't want to push too hard. Yeah, use a little bit of force. Oh, more dust. Then we have this big metal case here, both sides, and that is just held together by metal tabs that are bent. So that's just a matter of bending them up. So now this should come up. Yes. Yes. Apparently there's something here. I don't know if that's old flux or some corrosion it scrapes off. So the thing around these plastic tabs for the cartridge port seem to be just like some tape. I don't know if that's from factory or not, but maybe to hold it a little bit more stable. Alright, so I'm just going to clean up the whole board first, and since it's obviously is working, gonna take a look at that composite mod. Yeah, that goes away with some IPA. Maybe it's just some old flux from the factory. Yes, as you can see, the construction of this is quite simple. This is the CPU. This is the so-called TIA chip. And this is the so-called Riot chip. And the CPU is the 6507, and that's in fact just a variant of the 6502 with fewer pins. And all these chips are labeled 1987. So I'm using a little bit of contact cleaner just to clean up all the switches and the contacts. Just fill them up with a lot of contact cleaner and just switch them back and forth. To clean the cartridge connector, I just use a little paper here. I'm sure there are like these flat cotton swabs you can use, but yeah, just little paper works too. Didn't look very dirty, but yeah, this helps, I hope. Otherwise, the board looks fine. There's a few electrolyte capacitors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they all look fine, so I see no need for replacing those now. I could of course try to measure the capacitors in circuit. Try with this one, 2200 microfarads. Let's see what it says. 2700 low ESR. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Alright, I think that's enough with the motherboard. I'm gonna take the plastics, clean them real good in soapy hot water, and yeah, then I take a look at seeing if you can adjust the RF modulator, which is here. I actually tried to find the schematics for this revision. This is the PAL revision E, but wasn't able to find the any schematics for it, and it's a little bit different than the other variants. It has this chip, I couldn't really figure out. I guess it's some video decoder chip or something, but I could not figure out what it is. I tried Googled RCA 737, the first number C83086, I guess that's the date. You have this adjustable coil here, and then there's some adjustable potentiometer here. Not sure if that's at all related to the video signal. This can be adjusted as well, so I'll hook it up and see if we can do anything with the video signal. Now, without the case, you can't insert the cartridge. You actually need to unlock these tabs here. Just use a screwdriver, something, so that you can push them in. Yeah, and then push those in and try to insert it. Yeah, yes, still works, and we still see that the part of the picture is down at the bottom. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with the video circuitry on this Atari. I haven't really looked very detailed on the schematics. I'm just gonna adjust the two things that's adjustable. It's this potentiometer here first, and that apparently adjusts the colors. Color seems to be okay. Then we have this, which is a coil, I think. Yeah, and that changes the picture. It moves sideways. Yeah, there's something going on. Doesn't seem to fix our problem. We had one more thing, and it's this one. I think this is also a coil. I think that has something to do with the audio, maybe. I don't know. I just heard some clicking. But otherwise it had no effect on the picture. So it simply might be that this TV isn't able to tune this picture correctly. Yeah, we might just have to live with this. However, this Atari has a channel selector. I think it switches between channel 3 and 4, and that's simply different frequencies. Now it's on 4. Let's change it to 3 then and try to retune. That seems to tune in correctly, but yeah, now we still have the issue, even worse. Well, would you look at that? I did a new auto-tuning now on channel 3, and apparently now it's correct. So I think in fact it's my TV. The color seems a little bit weak now. Okay, this is an issue with a modern TV, I conclude. But let's try on an old-fashioned TV then. Here's an old CRT, and it found something. Yeah, obviously the rolling of the picture is not visible for me. It's only on the video, but that looks good. Except a little bit of noise, which is expected. but looks absolutely perfect for an old CRT. And now when I adjust the color potentiometer, it has a much better effect. My new TV didn't pick up those changes at all, almost. So I can conclude that the old-fashioned CRT TV has a better RF tuner than my modern TV. Even the sound is better. Still, I want to be able to use this Atari on my modern TV with a little better picture, and therefore I thought about converting it to composite video. And I was thinking, why don't we try and use AI to help me with that? So I sat down with the ChatGPT, and initially I just asked about the schematics for this Atari 2600 Junior Revision E, and it actually gave me some pointers, but it agreed it was not possible to find the exact schematics. Then I asked about what the RCA 373 chip was, and it says that it's for RF modulators, which I thought. And then I asked it, I want to do a composite modification, so just outlines here what I actually need. I need a solder iron, some resistors, capacitor, and the RCA jacks, and a small perf board, optional, and how to do it. However, I thought that sounded like a very simple solution. It says locate pin 6 of the TIA chip. However, the TIA chip has 3 pins or 4 pins for the video signal. So I asked him to create the schematics, which it tried to do here, and this is just completely nonsense. This is ChatGPT. This is the schematics for the video mod. Well, it's not. I just wrote, that's not a real schematic. Then it says, you're right. I'll manually create the accurate schematic. And then it made this. Here you can see the text-based schematics of the modification. And then I wrote to it, but the TIA has 3 pins for Luma, for PAL, pin 5, 6, and 7. Then color on pin 9. Isn't more needed for a composite video signal with color? And then he answered, yes, you're absolutely right. So he revised his answer and explained a little bit how a proper composite video signal works. And then he made a new circuit. And then I asked him, would you not need a sync signal too? And then he says, yes, sync is crucial. But if we mix the Luma signals correctly, we retain the sync. However, we need to ensure that the sync remains strong enough after mixing. To improve this, you need to tweak the resistor values and then use a buffer transistor circuit like an NPN transistor amplifier to improve the signal strength, and asked me if I wanted modified schematics for that, which I said yes, and that's this. So this is the suggestion: 3 1K resistors, 1K resistor, one 2.2K, a 220 microfarad capacitor, a 100 ohm resistor, RCA jacks obviously, wires, small perf board, and a 3904 NPN resistor, another 1K resistor, and a 407 ohm resistor, and a 75 ohm resistor. And this is the final drawing of how to build this circuit. So it taps into pin 5, 6, 7 on the TIA chip and pin 9, and then the audio goes through a 100 ohm resistor and directly to audio out. So I thought, let's try that. Let's see if ChatGPT got it right, and let's build the circuit it suggested. Of course, there are ready-made composite video modifications for this that you can buy quite cheaply, and yeah, just connect some wires here and there, and then you're finished. But let's try to build it ourselves. And actually, I already bought one of the ready-made modifications. I'm not sure if this is exactly for this variant of the Atari 2600. I bought this a long time ago. but it's just the connectors we need and a very very small PCB with, in fact, a couple of resistors and a transistor on it. So this seems to be even simpler than the one ChatGPT suggested, but let's build the one from ChatGPT. We can use these connectors and the wires still, and then maybe we can compare. So here's the recipe. I just printed it for easy access. I'm gonna use this piece of prototyping board, or yeah, perf board, just to place all the components. So it combines the 3 Luma pins with a 1K resistor, then a 2.2K resistor out to the video out. Then the chroma is also combined via a capacitor to the video out. Then there's a 75 ohm resistor before you have the composite video output signal. And this sync buffer 1K and 470 ohms go into the transistor, then to ground. This seems a little bit odd that it's not connected to this circuit here. And then we have the audio out. Obviously we need to disconnect the original modulator circuit here, and instead of trying to cut traces and things like that, I'm thinking about just putting the TIA chip into a socket, and then I can bend the different pins up so they're not connected to anything. So I'm going to start with that. Alright then, let's do some desoldering. So it's this chip, just a little bit of flux. So I desoldered all the pins, but it's still a little bit stuck here on the top. Just try and remove some of that solder. Just heat up and drag it along the pins. Can be a little bit tricky sometimes to desolder big chips like this, and no damages. Yeah, now it's in. Socket is in, and now I'm just gonna insert the chip and then test if it's if this still works, so that we have a known good baseline. And yes, it works. I decided to first build a circuit on this breadboard instead. I mean, in case it doesn't work, I don't waste the components. So let's see if I find the correct resistors first. Yeah, I got the values here, and we need a transistor 3904. That's a quite common one. I think I have it here. Transistor and 220 microfarad capacitor. That should be it. Now let's try to build this circuit. Obviously there's 3 wires for the 3 Luma pins, and 1K resistor in series with all 3. You know, a breadboard on the top, the blue and red, they are all connected horizontally like this. That's for power lines. But in this part, all the holes are connected vertically down. So these will then be connected to the green wires. But then they're gonna go to a common point where there's gonna be a 2.2K resistor. Yeah, so now these 3 1K resistors are connected together, and then I need a 2.2K, which goes from those 3. And that's for the video out. Yeah, I used the yellow for the video out. Let's just use that. So I asked ChatGPT again, what's the point of this composite video here, and it agrees it's not necessary, so it removed it, and then it called this for composite video out. And then I asked, why isn't this buffer circuit here connected to the video signal out in some way, and it also agreed about that, that's wrong. So I got a new circuit, I just printed it. So now it should be perhaps more correct, but the fundamentals the same, same components, only that the transistor is connected up to the composite video out. For pin 6, which is the sync signal, we need, if it's correct, we need a 1K resistor and a 470 ohm to the B and C of the transistor. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's base collector and emitter on this. I need to look it up. Yeah, here we see it. The left one is the emitter, the middle is the base, and the right is the collector. So just place it like this. The drawing is a little bit unclear. I asked ChatGPT to clarify the role of the transistor, and it redrew it. And in fact, this 470 ohm collector is not going to pin 6, it's going up to the circuit here. So then we need to move this. It just goes to the output. So that should be it. We have the 3 luma pins, we have the chroma pin, and we have the sync, and we have for ground, and then we have video output. However, the audio, it's just a straight through signal with a 100 ohm to the audio out, so I'm not gonna bother with that. That's gonna work anyway, and let's first test if the video is working. That's the main concern here. So now it's about hooking this contraption up to the board and see if it actually works. I have my doubts. I know ChatGPT does a lot of mistakes. I use it a lot for programming in my work, and it just does a ton of mistakes sometimes. But sometimes it's very good and gives very accurate answer for programming. So now I'm purposely trying to be dumb here and let ChatGPT do the work. I haven't looked at other mod circuits on this, but I was wondering why it wants the sync buffer from pin 6 sync. So I asked, and it said that no, it should come from here. That would be better. So then we don't need to think about that. Just connect the base of the transistor to before the 2.2K resistor. So that means we simply take this resistor here and move it over there. Then there's no need for a separate wire or sync. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna try. I've bent up the legs that we need to connect to, and just gonna insert the chip and solder onto those. So this is prototyping by using AI. Okay, let's see if we can solder these 3 onto pin 5, 6 and 7. I'm pretty sure this circuit is perhaps a little bit more complex than it needs to be, but just follow the instructions from the AI. I want this to be reversible, so I don't have to damage this console. Alright, I hooked up the chroma and the luma signals and the ground, and that should be it. I'm not hooking up audio this time. So now I just need to connect to one of these contacts. Alright, that's so far. I'm gonna take it. If this works, then great. Probably it won't. Okay, I'm hooking up a video cable here. Then turn it on. Hopefully nothing is shorted here and will start burning or something. Yeah. And we have absolutely nothing. Well, kind of expected. I thought this circuit looked a little bit strange, to be honest. I told ChatGPT that it didn't work, and now suddenly it changes everything and says you can get the sync signal from pin 2, and it changed the resistor values and no longer need for a transistor at all. Let me just try that then quickly. Alright, so I removed the transistor, I hooked up pin 2, which is sync, and I replaced the 2.2K resistor with a 1K, as suggested by ChatGPT. So let's see now if it did any change. We have the ground going to the ground. Okay, nothing at all. You know, all the mods I have seen for the Atari 2600 included a transistor, so obviously it doesn't know what it's doing. Alright, I admit my mistake. You probably screamed at the screen for a long time now. I have soldered the wires on the wrong side. I counted pin 1 from this side, and it's this side. Oh my god, sorry about that. Try again. Do it correctly. This fault, of course, would have made all kinds of issues with with this chip, so I might have broken it. So I'm just gonna test first if it's still working. I mean, it's a stupid mistake, but yeah, I was thinking that the chip was kind of upside down, so the pins 1 through 9 was on this side, but apparently my brain was not working. Yes, luckily it's working still. Good. Alright, so I'm gonna solder in the wires on the other side correctly this time. Yeah, and now it should be correct. Pin 2 is the sync. You have the 3 luma signals and the chroma, and we have the ground. Anything? Yes, it detected the signal, but it's all black. You see, it says SCART, but nothing showing there. It turned to no signal, so obviously there's something. For a brief moment, I saw, yeah, you can see the rectangle of the screen sometimes, and I saw the numbers of the score, but it was very, very faint. So I guess we need a transistor to boost it anyway. Let's see on the oscilloscope. Yeah, there's a signal around 1 volt. Obviously, it's very weak. Yes, now you see it's a very dark gray. I don't know if you can see it, but I see it says 1 and 1. Just to test, I took the pins out of the socket, so they're only connected through my wires here, and now I get no signal at all. So I guess that cannot be done. There's other circuitry that needs to be in place. So I think I might try to insert that transistor again and see if that does anything. But now with the pins in the socket. I tried to insert the transistor the way it suggested first, but that didn't have any effect. However, I asked ChatGPT. I said there was a signal, but it was very weak, and then he suggested to use lower value resistors. So the 1 case I'm trying now with 470 ohms instead. Well, I got the picture, but it's very dim and no colors and very unstable, but there's a picture at least, so that's some kind of composite mod. However, I guess with tweaking the values, I also removed the capacitor now, and if I insert it again, it actually, the signal disappears. So I don't know if it's placed correctly or not, but yeah, maybe it needs a different value too. Alright, that was it then for trying to make a mod with ChatGPT. It certainly was in the right track, but apparently it failed. So, but now I'm going to try to install the real composite video mod, and I'm going to clean up this mess. Chip has a lot of solder on its legs. But I think it was a fun and interesting exercise. It shows that you can use AI, at least for some simple things. Problem here might be there's simply too little information about this kind of Atari 2600 board and how to modify it, so might be struggling. Question is, now that I removed everything, does it still work as before? Yeah, apparently it does. Nice. Alright then, for the real mod I have this, and yeah, it has 2 resistors and 1 transistor, as I can see. Nothing more than that, so this is much simpler. And I have no idea how this is going to be connected and hooked up to the Atari. It didn't come with any instructions or anything, so I need to check out that. This is actually the component I have. I don't remember ever I bought it from here, but maybe I bought it on eBay. And it says here you need to indicate what kind of console you have, and then they will send the guide, installment guide, on email. I found another guide for another product, but it looks the same. I mean, the circuit looks to be the same, only made by someone else. And this guide goes through everything, so I'm gonna try this. This mod doesn't tap directly to the TIA chip. Instead, it goes out from the actual RF modulator circuit. So that's probably why it's a lot simpler circuit. And it says first we need to remove some components. We're going to remove this transistor here. Then I need to remove this resistor here. That's R56 and Q4. Ah, come on. Then it's to remove one of these resistors and one of these capacitors. And that's this guy. R17 and C33. Then you're supposed to open a hole here. There's a solder point there called A3, and it's blocked with solder. You're supposed to open that because you need to solder in a wire there. It's very close to the socket now. Yeah, that's better. And that was it. Now it's time to solder in the little mod wherever I put it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so I'm quickly gonna solder a wire to each of the solder points here. Yeah, so that was it. Easy peasy. Now it's just about finding the spots where all the wires go to. This side is the output, and yeah, this one is ground. Then we have audio and video. So this obviously goes to these connectors, and the ground goes to both. Alright, so now the output is hooked up. It's video, it's ground, and audio. Obviously this is only mono, so it only has one channel of audio. So now I just need to figure out where the inputs go. So the different wires that goes to the board is audio in, and then this one I can't read, but it should be 5 volts, and this is a video in, and the black one is ground. The ground we can find on this metal ring around the board. I'm just gonna, yeah, I don't know. There's already some holes there for ground. Maybe then the shielding will come over here and make a problem, but I'll figure that out later. Then the 5 volts, which is the green one, should go here where the transistor were. I just solder that one, yeah, the other ones from the back side. The audio wires goes through that hole, A3. And finally the video signal comes from the top of R56. Alright, that should be it. Yeah, now let's try this. And by the way, now this RF modulator circuit is disconnected and cannot be used anymore. Okay, let's see now. Does it work? Yes! It works! The colors are quite weak, but otherwise it seems to work fine. Pretty sharp. There's some artifacts. Pole position. Yeah, it's not that bad, I think. The colors not very bright, but I'll try to adjust. See if it changes. Yeah, now it's a little bit brighter. Now it's green. I suppose the car is supposed to be red, and yeah, the mountain kind of orange. Yeah, I think that's the best picture I can get. And in this game it looks perfect. I mean, the Pac-Man game, I think maybe there's some fault with the actual game. You saw those strange artifacts. I'm gonna test the audio. Yeah. Yes, I think that's a good result. Obviously, it's still just composite video, which isn't the best, but hey, this is a machine from 1986. It's probably possible to improve it even better by providing RGB or something, I don't know, but yeah, this is good enough for me. Okay then, I think this video comes to an end. Now I just need to assemble it, and I cleaned it up and it looks much better now. Obviously I need to make some holes for the two new contacts. I'm gonna take a look into that. However, I think this is what I can do in this video because I'm running late, so I need to finish it now. However, instead of installing a separate composite video out, I can obviously just use the contact that's already there. I mean, it's already going to ground. I can just cut the video out there and solder the video wire there instead. But I need one contact installed for the audio. And according to this installation guide, they recommend you install 3 contacts on the side. And that means you have 2 audio outs so that you get the same mono signal in both channels, and then you have a video. However, I don't have time to do that now before I have to start editing this video. If I'm able to do this before the video is completed, I'm gonna show you a picture of the result at the end of the video. This is how the end result should look like. It's finished, and yeah, that came out really nice, I think. Let's test if it works. Yes, it does. Excellent. Alright, boys and girls, this video became a little bit longer than I was anticipating, but still kind of fun project. Hope you liked it too. Just wanted to say thanks for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons and my members on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.